Hello everyone and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we're taking a look at the Power Rangers Beast Morphers Beast X Morpher. Now I know that's a bit of a tongue twister. It's kind of really just the same words over and over again. Beast Morphers Beast X Morpher. In any case, I'm super excited to get a hold of this finally. I went out on Monday when Target was doing all the resets to find Beast Morphers stuff, and they had everything but the Morpher. So I got it on Amazon. So if anyone is looking, Amazon's a perfectly viable option. Last I checked, they had everything up. The whole first wave of stuff, so you can definitely check Amazon. Targets should be reset now across the country. Go to your Targets. Walmart, I only saw the figures in that Easter display. They didn't have anything in the normal aisle. So if you're looking for Beast Morpher stuff, I would definitely check Target, and I would check Amazon. Walmart, last-ditch effort. But in any case, here is the Beast X Morpher. First of all, packaging. Love the packaging. This thing is beautiful. I absolutely love this. I like the new Power Rangers logo. 2 AA batteries are required. Demo batteries included. So I don't know if they'll be... Sometimes they'll put in like one little watch battery with like a little spring piece, and that's how you can get the demo sounds. Other times they'll just put in really cheap batteries that don't last very long. We'll wait and see when we get to that part. But it's all open. So if you want, you could just kind of cut the ties and take everything right out of the box. I hope that means these don't get stolen in stores. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, it's completely open. It does have a try me function, so...
Hey Ranger, move me around. Unleash the beast.
So pretty cool. It's got a try me setting. So there's just a couple random sounds for kids to try it out in the store and then beg their mom and dad for it. But in any case, yeah, I think it's neat. Like I said, the open packaging frightens me a little for shoplifting potential. But other than that, I think it's fantastic. Nice picture of the Red Ranger there on the side. Yellow Ranger and Cruz on this side. Not too much going on the bottom. Again, nice picture there on the top. And then on the back, you have like the most serious kid I've ever seen. He knows he's tough and he's ready to kick some butt. He's just like, I love these stern looks. It's Morphin' time. So I know a lot of people were saying like, oh, some of these had stickers, but everything's printed on mine. So I don't know if they decided to change the text and had to sticker up the ones they already printed and then changed it for future printings. I don't know. It's weird. But it shows off that you put the key in the Morpher. It does come with the 3 demo keys, which of course we'll take a look at all that. But yeah, very cool. Definitely looks like a lot of fun. I'm going to go ahead and get this guy out of the box and we'll take a closer look. So here is the Morpher out of the packaging, and I do apologize. I don't have the Morphin brace from Go Busters handy. I wanted to do a bit of a comparison for you, but then I remembered it's kind of in deep storage, so I don't have that available. But take my word for it, it's very similar. Obviously, it has the spot here to put the key in, which the original does not have. And the other one was just a little bit tinier. And you could still move this piece around, but it did like different modes in the Morphin brace. It doesn't really do anything here. So I have it turned off for right now. If we put it to the middle one, that's the try me mode.
Hey Ranger, move me around.
That's weird. All the way to the right is now the full on mode. I'm going to turn it off though. We'll go over this strap real quick. I tried to put this on and it just barely fits my giant wrist, as you can see. Now this side is kind of sewed on, so I have heard of some people cutting this off and using you know, different straps and things from Sentai releases and things like that, and I guess that's a perfectly viable option for you. I'm just gonna not bother trying to wear it. Like I said, I can just get it around my wrist. It's very tight and like cutting off the circulation, but mine is not the typical wrist, so I would think for kids, absolutely. Even most adult collectors could probably get this on in some capacity, so that's pretty cool. Giant red button here makes the glasses flip out and triggers the morphing, which we'll get to in a minute. But yeah, I guess that's pretty much it for just what this thing does without turning it on. So now that we're on, again, this does nothing. You can still spin it around, but... And I love that cheetah, gorilla, rabbit symbol there in the middle. Plus the stickers just kind of like really... in the light, it changes colors and everything. I just love that. It looks fantastic. So if we hit the button...
time.
So it just kind of cycles through a couple phrases there. Of course, it does have the motion sensor. And I think it's kind of neat, like if you go forward, it kind of makes punching sounds, and then like if you swing, it thinks maybe you have like a sword or something. So I think that's kind of neat how it kind of detects what kind of motion it is. I really appreciate that. If you let it sit for a minute, it will kind of power itself down. So while we're waiting for it to do that, we'll go ahead and we'll take a look at the keys here. So these are kind of the sample demo keys that it gives you. You have the red key, which I believe is exactly the same as the one that comes with the Red Ranger action figure, but I will be able to tell you that once I open that. This green one is a villain key, which I think is the one... There you go, powered itself down. I told you it would. I think this is the same one that comes with Blaze. Again, I'll do a comparison when I get to the figures. I'll bring this back out. And then this is kind of like a generic. Although I gotta say, with the yellow, the green, and the red, this just reminds me of like a cheeseburger or something. We got tomato, lettuce, mustard. I don't know why. This piece of plastic here is kind of flimsy. This top black piece is not really that great. And like I've tried to move these all at once, and it doesn't really want to do that. So you kind of have to move them one at a time. But yeah, so that's the little demo key thing. I do appreciate that they give you demo keys. You know, just because that way you're not completely stuck if this is the only toy you have. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, you'll be able to get more functionality. The more action figures you buy, you get more keys, more sounds, and all. That's the whole play pattern. But they give you at least something to start out with, which I appreciate. So real quick, I wanted to show you to turn it back on. Now we're on. So now we'll go ahead and do the morphing without a key inserted.
Are you ready? Say it's morphin' time.
Now, it'll react to anything you say. So, I'm going to turn it back off. But basically, you don't have to say it's morphin' time. I know some people were having the Morphin Brace say it's morphing time to set this off, and everyone was amazed by it. It's just any sound. Like, if I just go ahead and do it again, I'll snap my fingers. You can see it picking up the sound.
Are you ready? Say it's morphin' time.
So you can see each time I snap my fingers, the red light went off, and that's because it's detecting sound. So it has to detect like so much sound that it would equal the phrase "it's morphing time." Probably goes by syllables or something like that. So that's neat. Here is from the other side, the glasses once they're flipped up. I think that looks pretty cool. And then you just fold it in half and push it back down. So now you can hear that the motion sounds are different.
Let's go! Rangers, it's go time. Unleash the beasts. It's morphin' time.
But the phrases are pretty much the same. So being morphed makes the motion sensor sounds different, but not really the phrases by hitting the button. So let's go ahead and we'll try out some keys. First up, we'll start with the red key. Oops.
Nice to see you, Rangers.
I accidentally kind of put it in on its side and we're getting secret phrases here. Okay.
Cheetah beast power, red.
So there it goes. Now it knows we're the Red Ranger.
Let's go for a spin, Cruz. Cheetah beast power, red. Rangers, it's go time. Let's go. Unleash the beasts. Cheetah beast power, red.
So basically, the other phrases are still there and they're in the mix, but then you get the special Red Ranger phrases as well, also thrown into the mix, cycling through as you hit the button. So we'll go ahead and morph now.
Are you ready? Say it's morphin' time.
It's morphin' time. So there we go. We're morphed up. So that's pretty cool. One thing, when you're morphed as a ranger, if you do the motion controls enough, it'll do that unleash the beast.
Let's go for a spin, Cruz. Unleash the beasts. Cheetah beast power, red.
So after you morph, it doesn't really do a whole lot different. And you'll hear it kind of reset itself. So now we'll try the green one.
I'm not a real human. I'm much better.
So that's why I think it's the Blaze one.
I'm the better Red Ranger.
There you go, definitely Blaze.
I'm not a real human. I'm much better. Not today, Rangers.
That sounds more like a monster than Blaze, but meh.
I'm the better Red Ranger. The Morphex is mine.
That's the monster in the, I can't remember his name offhand, but the guy that's like their helper in the other dimension.
I'm not a real human. I'm much better. Not today, Rangers. The Morphex is mine.
Still have motion sensors. So don't get the unleash the beast thing. Let's see what happens when we morph.
Are you ready? Say it's morphin' time.
Transform! So there you go. Different transformation jingle. Very cool. And you can get these kind of... like it sounds like static, and it's because the villain has the virus. So that's kind of like infected the Morpher. So you get these weird like static sounds. And I think that's really neat.
I'm the better Red Ranger. I'm not a real human. I'm much better. Not today, Rangers.
So the phrases are still the same.
Not today, Rangers.
So there, instead of the Unleash the Beast sound being activated by the motion sensors, you get that. Which again, really awesome riff there. I like the music quite a bit. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead. Deactivates back down to normal. And then...
let's go.
so it's kind of back to normal there. We'll try the yellow key. There it goes. Wasn't in all the way.
Defenders of the grid.
So I think this is kind of like a generic phrases key.
It's morphin' time. Let's go. Rangers, it's go time. Unleash the beasts. Defenders of the grid.
So you get a couple new phrases, but actually might even just be the one new phrase.
It's morphin' time.
Everything else would be as if you didn't have a key. So there you go. So now we'll try morphing.
Are you ready? Say it's morphin' time.
Henshin!
Try again. Say it's morphin' time.
See, it must not be enough syllables to set it off. But that time it worked. So it's kind of the same sounds as when we morphed using the red key. Which, granted, that it's a bit of a weird sound, but...
let's go. Rangers, it's go time. Unleash the beasts. Defenders of the grid.
So yeah, you're back to pretty much the same phrases there. And then that'll turn itself back off. So I think that's really cool. I love the fact that they give you 3 different keys. This one's kind of like a generic key. Then we have one ranger and one villain, so you can hear the difference between the transformation jingle, the kind of motion sensor sounds are different depending on if you're a hero or a villain. I love with the villain how they have that kind of static and glitchy sound effect because the virus is like infecting the Morpher. So I think that's really cool. I like that quite a bit. Again, this little, just be careful with this thing when you're turning it because, powering down on this again, because this is kind of a softer plastic, so if you try to hold this and spin the keys, you can end up really messing this up. But just be careful and try to spin one key at a time. But otherwise, I think this is great. I absolutely love this. I think the sound effects are great. I love the glasses still flip up like the original toy, the Japanese version. And plus they've added in a whole new level of functionality with these keys. I mean, the Morph Embrace was fun, and it had some other things like a game, and I forget some of the other features, but that kind of stuff, you try it maybe once, and you never really play those little games they build into the morphers and changers and things. I would much rather have this functionality. This thing is supposed to have over 30 plus sounds, if I'm reading the box correctly. Yes, 30 plus sounds and phrases. So I think this is a really neat idea. It also gives you incentive to buy the figures because they all come with different keys. So then you're going to put them in, and I will bring the Morpher back out every time we review figures so we can pop those keys in and get the sound effects for that. It's really neat, and it kind of reminds me of how Japan does their play patterns where, you get a new ride watch or something, and you want to put it in the Morpher, you want to interact it with the other toys and everything, and it's just a really neat idea to keep that across the entire line, the unifying theme. I mean, we've seen things before with Bandai with like the Dino Chargers and things like that, but this is kind of an even better level in my opinion, because most of the keys can be used as weapons by the figures and then also by the Morpher, whereas the Dino Chargers might have come with Zords and stuff, but they didn't really have any functionality with the figures. So I think that's kind of cool. But yeah, I'm really liking this so far. Like I said, if I had to nitpick something, the strap's a little small, but again, this is meant for children, not for plus-sized adults. So I can completely understand why it doesn't fit my wrist. I think it'll be fine, and if you have some other kind of strap, you could always cut that off and provide your own strap. That's a perfectly viable alternative. But yeah, the sound so far are great. The music's great. It's fun. I think the motion sensor is a fun thing. It's not too obnoxious, and you can always turn it back off if you want. Plus, it'll turn itself back off after a minute of sitting idle, which I appreciate to save the batteries. And I did take a look at the battery situation, and it is just kind of two, like, try-me Duracell batteries. So I'm just going to leave them in there till they die, because might as well, right? Though it should work for a little bit, I would assume, especially since these really haven't been out in stores forever, being tried by 100 different kids, because it's relatively new still. So you should get a decent life out of the batteries, but I don't really have anything to complain about. Like I said, the strap is a stretch. Get it? Anyway, I definitely recommend picking this up if you're planning on really getting into Beast Morphers and really collecting all the figures and everything. You're definitely going to want to pick this up, because that way you can get more functionality with every new key that you get. And just judging by these three keys, the phrases, the lights and sounds, everything has been really fun. And I can't wait to see more. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And as always, thanks so much for watching.